Hey everybody, welcome to the Rhizocast. Today I'm looking at US 1, number 7. Um, so when I was a little kid, I got my first comics. It was a 3-pack. There was The Thing number 5 from his ongoing series in the early 80s. I can't remember what the second comic was. The third comic was an issue of US 1, and I remember at the time thinking it was awful. Um, Recently found out, so this is a 12 issue series. It was actually a toy license deal. There was a line of truck toys called US 1. Um, Stumbled on this issue. The cover is weird and cool looking, so I thought I'd give it a try. This looks really sun faded and dull, but I think it was actually printed this way from what I can see online. And also, this part up here does not look sun faded, so I don't know what that color choice is about, but that's okay. So, love the ads for Burger Time. So, this series, I don't know if this is indicative of the series or this is just this issue, but the narrator of this issue is this truck. Um, so is at least a year before Transformers, maybe 2 years before Transformers. It's December 83, and this is issue 7, so it would have been coming out. Maybe this issue comes out around the same time as Transformers. It's hard to know. But anyway, it's interesting. Like it's real purple prose too, which is, I mean, it's kind of cool to me now. At the time, I would have probably thought it was too wordy. My headlights stabbed through the ink black night, lightning a path for my wheels to follow. My exhaust pipes billow nauseous fumes in the cold night air. My trailer echoes hollowly, no longer filled with goods. I've already made my delivery. The powerful engine underneath my hood rumbles with untapped power. Within the warm confines of my cab are two people. Wide load Annie. That's great. Wide load Annie. And then, so it ends up US 1 is short for Ulysses Solomon Archer. And they call him US 1. Anyway, I hope whoever, let's see who it is that drew this. So it's written by Al Milgrom, which it's interesting that he's getting this assignment. And drawn by Frank Springer. I find that name familiar, but I can't quite place him now. But man, I hope that guy liked drawing trucks because he gets to do it a lot in here. It is easy to go panel to panel to read. So the character on the front, I guess she appeared last issue because there's her hypno whip hypnotizing Wide Load Annie or whatever her name is. And they make it to the big truck stop and find the waitress and the I can't remember. She's another truck. I think she's another trucker. I always like seeing these Saturday morning cartoon ads. It gives you the nostalgia. For there being Saturday morning. I remember the Monchi-Chis existing, my sister being into the toys. Golly, this is horrible design with this red on orange. It's practically unreadable. It's totally unreadable, I think, on the screen, but it's pretty rough in real life, too. The Littles, I think I watched. These Scooby-Doo with Scrappy, I would avoid that like the plague. Best of Scooby-Doo, I wouldn't watch that, I don't think. That the Little Rascals and Richie Rich had a cartoon together, no, that would not be interesting. I do remember occasionally seeing the Pac-Man and the Amazing Rubik Cube cartoon, but obviously there was something better on another channel. Lots and lots of words that the truck stop that they like, it's in financial trouble and they're trying to figure out a way to get out of it or whatever. They're just talking about they're basically recapping the last issue more or less for probably the first third or maybe even half of the comic. And then here's the truck still narrating what's going on. He says, "Yeah, it sure is lonely being a truck sometimes. Oh, sure, I'm always in on the action and adventure, but I never get to share in the fun because the truck doesn't get to go into the diner." And, and I can't really tell if it's like, see, so the this guy says something, and the truck talks back, and but I don't think that the humans know what the truck says. So I don't know if the Ulysses US 1 guy, if he can talk to the truck or not, or exactly how it works. Because there it does seem like later on we'll see the truck does have the ability to act on its own. But anyway, so here is the appearance of the Hypno Whip again. And this character, she seems like she could be. Okay, so it says she first appeared in issue 2. So I guess she's been an ongoing threat because she was in. This is issue 7, so she would have been in issue 2 and issue 6 at the very least. But she could be used. She could be used in any like generic Marvel comic or whatever. She could be an Iron Man villain easily, or totally could see her in Iron Man or Daredevil, Spider Man, just as a villain of the week that gets abandoned. I don't know if she ever appeared in any other Marvel comics or not. Um, her name's Midnight, and her weapon's called the Hypno Whip. So she's hypnotizing all these people so that she can get back at US 1 or whatever. That there's some reason why she can't hypnotize US 1. So she hypnotizes all his friends instead. And there's all these flashbacks, like, so they were flashing back to issue 6 before, now they're flashing back to issue 2. All right, here's the NBC lineup: Thundar the Barbarian, Amazing Spider-Man, Shirt Tails, Smurfs. Those are all ones that I probably watched. Oh yeah, the Flintstones where Barney and Fred are cops. I forgot about that existing. The Mr. T cartoon's was pretty awful, but I think I still often watched it because it was probably the best thing on, or maybe that was on when I would flip it over to the Littles on the other station. So I don't even understand how she's getting on this. I don't know what's happening right there. This is she getting on the bike? Is the bike already in motion? I can't tell what's happening. But anyway, this, I guess this is the remote control unit, is this little coin that he has in his pocket, and so he uses that to turn the truck on. More ads. And so then the the truck's able to do all this stuff, I guess, from him messing around with the little coin thing. And it really doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's dumb fun. We got a driverless truck chasing this lady with the hypno whip, and he grabs the hypno whip away from her, so she no longer has a weapon. And she has like he's dropping off some bike shredding or tire shredding little things to mess with her bike, and then she runs away. He gets the hypno whip so he can turn off them being hypnotized. I guess, and she blew up out in the background. That he has I guess he has missiles he can fire out of his smokestacks or something. Maybe if I was aware of the toy, these abilities would make more sense. I don't know. The bullpen bulletin. This lets you know all the other things that were going on this month. Uh, so the thing number 6, which would have been after the thing number 5 that I got. Dreadstar Annual number 1 came out. I will one day be reviewing that on this channel for sure. That it's a really cool issue. Defenders number 126, which I believe is the first issue where it's branded as the New Defenders. Marvel's putting out a lot of books. Let's see. Not really a lot going on there. The role-playing games were getting pretty popular at this point, and here's a James Bond role-playing game. I think it's interesting that they don't have him look like any of the actors that had played him, particularly probably because they didn't want to pay the licensing fee to do the likeness of Sean Connery or Roger Moore. And so then, they're going into the next issue. We have a letters column, classic of the 80s stuff is the letters column. It's really what helped build you feeling like you were part of a comics community, even if you were, sitting alone in your bedroom reading comics as a little kid. Like, it made you feel like you were part of a community, getting to read all these other people's thoughts on things. And I mean, it's just there's nothing wrong with this comic, I don't think, really. It's just it's not my deal then. It's not my deal now, really, either. But it's cool, and I wanted to look at it. Here's an ad for. So TSR is who made Dungeons and Dragons. So here's this sci-fi role-playing game they made, Star Frontiers, that I don't know that I ever actually saw it or ever heard of anybody playing it. That the Kool-Aid Man was popular enough to have his own video game on the Atari 2600, that's kind of fun. I don't believe I ever owned that one somehow. And then Qbert for the Atari also here, which I did have and play. Anyway, cool cover. Not a particularly cool comic, but I mean, no bigger waste of your time than a lot of things. Thanks for hanging out with me and watching this one. I'll probably have a better book to look at next time.